Gray.
Hi, everybody. Great to be back at the Milken Conference, and we thank Mike Milken for all the terrific work that he's doing, not only in this conference, but on a daily basis with the Institute. Gianni, it's a pleasure to have you in a city you're going to be spending a lot of time in.
Indeed, indeed. Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here with you in particular.
Well, thank you. Vice versa, feel an honor. You know, Los Angeles has had so many big time, everything that's possible. Super Bowls, 2 Olympics, a 3rd Olympics coming back. We had the World Cup back in 1994. What does this city and the United States mean to come back after 32 years to soccer?
Well, it's very special. It's very special for Los Angeles, of course. It's very special for United States, who is co-hosting the next World Cup in 2026 together with Mexico and Canada. It's unique. I mean, football or soccer, we should agree how we call it, because we outside of this country, we call football a game that we play with our feet, right? In this country, you call football a game you play with your hands. Now, I don't know who's right or who's right. It's okay, but we can call it football or soccer. It doesn't matter.
If you can change that, if you can change that trajectory and that perception, then you've done a great job. But that's kind of ingrained in America, unfortunately. So I'm gonna.
But when
I say soccer, I mean football.
You mean my football?
But when you say football, I'm going to think of Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes.
Fantastic.
And I know you'll think of Messi and.
Fantastic. I would try to call it football as well, soccer as well from time to time. You see. No, but it's incredible because to be back here, because the way that soccer has grown in this country and that football has grown all over the world is unprecedented, is unique. I mean, we're speaking about billions of people watching. The last World Cup in Qatar had 5 billion audience, 5 billion around the world. Only the final 1.5 billion. The last Women's World Cup, 2 billion viewers. Only the final between England and Spain, over 250 million. This is kind of double the Super Bowl, right? And for the World Cup, for the Men's World Cup, every game is a Super Bowl. So we are bringing
it's really amazing.
104 Super Bowls to North America in 1 month, in June and July of 2026. It's not bad.
Wow, that's a lot of planning. That's a lot going on.
And a lot to look for, because it's fun.
So you said something really interesting. 5 billion people. There's almost 8 billion people in the world.
Yeah, we still have some margin.
So you're a growth sport. You're missing 3 billion.
We have to grow. I mean, soccer is the number 1 sport in the world.
Sure is.
It is actually much more than a sport for so many people around the world. It means hope. It means opportunity. It means passion. People who are attending and who will come here for the World Cup, who are attending games, who are watching games at home, are really living these games. I mean, when I say that we are organizing, I mean, a World Cup is 104 games, 104 matches in a bit more than 1 month. When I say it's 104 Super Bowls, I really mean it, not just because we fill the stadium. We will fill NFL stadiums everywhere in the US, so 60, 70, 80,000 people. But there will be a few 100,000 people in the city who just want to feel the atmosphere. And back home in the 2 countries who are playing, I mean, the countries, they stand still. Nothing is happening. Nobody is working. There is no crime which is committed during that 90 minutes of the soccer game in these particular. It's incredible. It's unique.
We should play more soccer over here.
Absolutely.
If that's the result.
That's why we are here.
How are we doing in the United States? I mean, can you take us on the trajectory? And from my perception as a sportscaster, it's the women who've led the way. Team USA and how great they have done. And we don't see that in other sports. They're behind in tennis, fighting for equality. Behind, obviously, in golf. Basketball a little bit better now with Caitlin Clark, and with what she has been able to do. But why do you think that women have been able to lead the way in our country for the trajectory of soccer?
Well, let me start maybe with one thing, if I may, because one thing I've been told is when you go to the US, you have to start with a proper explanation of what it is. So let me just take one thing, if I may, just get up for 1 second and this is a soccer ball, right? Soccer ball. We are speaking about that. We call it football. We spoke already about that. So I put it here with you. So it's even branded with the, you see?
Yeah, it's perfect.
With the conference of today. It's fantastic. So we all know what we are speaking about in case somebody had some doubts, because there are also a lot of not only social but economic questions around soccer. Now, soccer in the US, but not only, has become extremely successful, thanks also in particular to women. I am happy and proud father of 4 daughters, so I have a lot of pressure back home to invest a lot in the women's game. And we are. When I was elected president of FIFA, we had it was in 2016 for the first time. We had around 130 countries in the world who were participating in the qualifiers for the World Cup, which the US was regularly winning. Today, it's over 190, almost 200. We have 211 countries who are part of FIFA, so we still have a little bit of margin, like the 3 billion more to go. But it is moving, it is progressing a lot, and there is really no other sport which unites in the same way as soccer. And when it comes to women's soccer, it is much, how should I say, younger than men's soccer. The first World Cup was played in 1991 only, whereas the first men's World Cup was played in 1930. And there are strong countries all over the world. We had, in the last World Cup, which was played in Australia and New Zealand, we had South Africa, who kicked out Argentina and Italy, for example. We had Jamaica, who kicked out Brazil. We had Morocco, who kicked out Germany. So incredible results. Everyone can win. Of course, the United States has invested a lot in the women's game and women's soccer through the school system, the college system, which is very, very unique, I have to say, in this country. I visited myself, actually here in Los Angeles, when I came here last year, UCLA, the girls team, the university who were a champion of the colleges. I mean, incredible infrastructure, like European men professional youth teams. And this, of course, brings a lot of results. And in the meantime, whereas when it comes to the women's game, until some years ago, especially men were saying, well, it's just kind of it's not really soccer. It's not. In the meantime, it has become really, really attractive. Those who watch, those who tune in, they see, well, it's actually, top sport, and you start feeling with it. We had, again, record attendances, 2 billion viewers in Australia and New Zealand, 2 million in the stadiums in 2 countries where it was winter, especially New Zealand. It was very, very cold, and the stadiums were full, not just for the matches of New Zealand or Australia, but all the games. We had 75,000 for England, Colombia in Sydney. Incredible. And a lot of this is, I have to say, it is thanks to the investment that the US has done, because this triggered, especially the Europeans, but also the Asians, to invest in order to be able to compete against the Americans. And now we have club systems, we have big clubs, the Barcelonas or Arsenals or Chelseas of this world, who are, or Real Madrid, so Paris Saint-Germain, who are investing in the women's game because they want to compete against the Americans.
So do you think it's because of the results that they've had that has caused all of this? In other words, if the men had the same results, would the popularity soar here?
Well, that helps. That obviously helps, but you have the results only if you invest, if you work, if you train players. And today, what I'm told, and now I actually moved as well with my family to this beautiful country, to find out by myself.
Welcome.
Thank you.
To Miami.
To Miami, yes. To find out by myself if it's true. Every kid, every girl and every boy is playing soccer in this country, right? And then when they grow up, they switch.
They watch football. They grow up playing soccer, watching football.
And watch football, exactly, because we give them football only on TV. We have to change that, and that's why I'm here, because I understand that you want to see. I mean, the United States is the number one country in the world in kind of everything that you try to do. You become number one. So one of the things I don't understand is how you can be satisfied to be number 20 in the number one sport in the world.
How do they change it?
Well, by investing in the game.
So is that in youth soccer? Because youth soccer is very popular. Is that in high school? Where do you make the investment? Because we see that you came and spoke to the Board of Governors for the MLS, and you said you got to think bigger, make a little more investment, but it's got to start before then. Where would you suggest the growth has to come from in that investment?
It has to be on both ends. It has to be at the top professional game. I came actually 2 weeks ago here in Los Angeles, spoke to the Board of Governors of the MLS, and I told them exactly this. You have to be a bit more bold.
Explain what that means too.
A bit more in the game. Bring in the best players. I mean, you want to see the best playing. Now, you will see the best at the World Cup. And actually next year in 2025, we organize a new competition, which is a Club World Cup. So we'll have the best clubs in the world, starting from Real Madrid to Manchester City to Inter Milan to Paris Saint-Germain to Bayern Munich. The best clubs in the world from Europe, but from everywhere. The Mamelodi Sundowns from South Africa will also be participating. They will come here and they will play. And you will see the best players and what they are capable to do. And you are having a glimpse as well now in the Messi effect, if we want to call it that way. Messi coming to play in Inter Miami, filling stadiums, not MLS stadium, but NFL stadiums, wherever he goes to play, with ticket prices which are higher than the prices for football or American football.
Well, everybody wants to see Jordan. Everybody wants to see LeBron and Tiger. They want to see Messi. He's considered the best right now.
They want to see the best. So we need to bring them the best players, but also the best game, the best spectacle. And for this, we need to invest in the players, because we want as well to show to the kids here who play soccer when they are at school or when they are very young, that there is a path in soccer to glory, to become one of these world stars. And this is what maybe they don't see yet. They see it in basketball, they see it in football, in baseball, in ice hockey, but in soccer it's still kind of far away. You have to go to Europe and maybe and whatever, and is there really a great American soccer player? Well, we have to make sure that these players come out. How do we make sure that they come out? By bringing the best, by making sure that we have a top quality football here throughout the year, but at the same time by investing, of course, in the youth. What is done with the girls is not done with the boys today at the schools. The schools, the high schools, the colleges, they spend a lot of money on the American sports and not enough on soccer. So they should spend a little bit more there. But we all have to invest, because actually in the rest of the world, soccer has grown without investments of governments.
The grassroots.
It's all private. It's all exactly, because it's such an easy sport. You just need a ball like that. You only need a ball, and then you can kick and you can play. You don't need any big equipment.
You can play on the street, you can play on dirt road, you can play on a field.
Everywhere, everywhere. So we need to bring and to create opportunities and occasions for kids to play. We have to structure it. One of the things which shocked me here in America is that children have to pay
to play.
In order to play. We have to stop this. I mean, I'm Italian, I grew up in a little Swiss village in the middle of the mountains. There was a soccer team there which played in the 6th highest division, so very small, very, very low. And they had 23 youth teams. And this is all privately organized, privately funded. So the local guy who has a restaurant gives the jerseys, the lawyer who has a little bit more money, he spends the shoes, he gives the shoes. And privately you create this movement that makes sure that every kid plays. Today we have, Croatia played the final in 2018, the semi-final. Last year, 4 million people. With 350 million people, I mean, we can find 11, right? Who can kick a ball, but we need to touch the hearts of these people.
So part of that's an interesting equation. How do you market this? Do you market it through the stars? Do you market it through the cities, through the countries, through the organizations, the big organizations over in Europe? How do you market to this country and this market? The NBA is very effective with the stars. Mm-hmm. The NFL is very effective with the teams. But soccer, it seems, is more nationalistic. So if you're having to market nationalistic, how do you use those stars and perhaps those organizations in the cities to get to where you want to go?
Well, by showing...
Or do I have that wrong?
No, you have that right, but by showing two things, I think. One is the international impact that soccer has. I mean, if there is, I don't know, one player in Nepal who happens to be the new Ronaldo or Messi, and he comes to play here, you will have the whole of Nepal which is watching this. Now, Nepal is not that a big country, but if he or she is Indian or Chinese,
you got to get it on this thing. This is what
Exactly.
everybody's walking around with. It's not the TV, it's not the computer. You got to get them on these devices.
Absolutely, you have to embrace new technologies, and you embrace the world, because that's what basketball and football, baseball, I don't know really, but what they are trying to do, right, to expand to the rest of the world, but still.
It's not like soccer.
Are not
Basketball's
like soccer.
catching. I mean, basketball is an American export that's done pretty well.
Yeah.
Of a lot of countries now participating in the
Exactly.
NBA and so forth, and the Dream Team helped that. But keep going, I'm sorry.
But soccer is the global sport. So you have, firstly, if you invest here, you have a big global impact almost instantly, because everyone knows today in the world that Messi is playing in Miami. I was in Indonesia. We organized the Under-17 Youth World Cup. There were kids running around with the pink Inter Miami jersey in Indonesia, right? So everyone in the world knows that they will play here, and you have an immediate global impact. And number two, because to play soccer, you don't need to be, particularly tall or particularly big or whatever. Everyone can play. Mm-hmm. It's such an easy sport. It's a sport that you can have different skills and different talents, and you can succeed and become powerful for the local communities, and especially those with less means available. This is the sport which gives them a real opportunity to embrace at the same time the top professional sport through the phones, through the connectivity around the world. And at the same time, locally, you can embrace everyone from all social classes.
So it's the parents who make the decisions for the kids. So by that point, they're kind of middle-aged, somewhere between 28 and 40. Mm-hmm. How do you...
Like us.
Correct. Thank you.
We are more to 28.
You are. How do you get them to make that decision, and how do you reach them so that they can pass it on to their kids? Because right now they're passing on, obviously, American sports. How do you reach them and get to them through their connectivity in their busy lives so that they want their children to have this experience?
Well, when they feel what it brings, when you bring them to the game where the children play, when you show them the smile in the face of the children when they play, when they kick the ball. I went a few weeks ago in Miami. There was a little club, which is actually one of the very, very few clubs where children don't have to pay in order to play. It's called Little Haiti. Little Haiti. And they organize a small tournament for kids, boys and girls, from 8 to 12 years of age. And I went there and I spent some time with them. And when you see these kids, how they enjoy, I mean, every parent falls in love immediately, right? And if you add to this the emotion that they feel and the possibility that they give them to have a good education and to become somebody, maybe not the top professional player, but certainly a better woman or a better man, by being part of this system, by being part of a soccer team, well, I'm sure they will fall in love. But we need to work on that, and we need to bring the best here so that everyone can see it, and that's what we are doing now with the World Cups.
It's a pleasure to have the opportunity to speak to you. It's an honor, and we're all grateful that the World Cup is coming to the United States, Mexico and Canada, but particularly to this community in the finals in New York. And we're going to be seeing a lot of you over the course of the next few years.
Indeed. And the opening game actually for the US team will be here in Los Angeles. Great.
Back where it started,
Thank you.
1994. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.